So this is very effective 7 steps towards healing. They conduct these 7 steps towards healing every month. They try to publish it. And if you have a chance, if you are close by, you can attend for that workshop. And I attended. It is really very, very helpful. Thank you so much. Now, this is the time for question and answers. So if you have any questions, please ask.
Thank you for your presentations, and especially for the last speaker sharing about her own personal experience. I teach a course on restorative justice, and a portion of it would talk about exactly what you talked about in terms of forgiveness. I also have these monthly dialogues with a group of inmates at California State Prison in Sacramento. These are people that probably done the worst things you can imagine, and reached out to me because after 20 plus years coming to terms with what they did, especially as young people, and wanting forgiveness. Yes. The people they have, caused pain. And one of the points I make to them is, before you can seek forgiveness, you need to first forgive yourself. Yes. So this kind of reinforces that. So thank you for sharing. Yes. A couple of questions. Can you help me, and this is not really my field in terms of the mental health, so it's kind of good to see professionals in that regard. What are some of the techniques, I know you mentioned the 7 steps, that you would recommend, especially in processing crime situations, in dealing with offenders and victims? Because one of the things that we find out is, for example, I'm working on a case now where the survivor of the rape wants to have the opportunity to forgive the person that victimized her. Yeah. But her family, especially the mother, is not there yet. So, kind of try to figure out a way to process that. I welcome any insights in that regard. And then the other one is much more mundane, and because I'm sure I'm going to share this picture with my wife about the potions. Yes. What can you tell in terms of what the science behind it? Anything you can about the potions you shared with us?
Where are they from?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, yeah. They were made about 80 years ago, 85 years ago by Dr. Bach, who was Scandinavian, basically microbiologist, medicine guy. He wasn't a psychologist or horticulturist. But he was suffering from an ailment. It was worse than depression. They didn't know what it was. So he had to leave his work and get into the garden and started experimenting with different flowers until he found 30 different strands. So one is for depression, one is for grieving, one is for letting go, etc. So he has remedies for each issue. So, if you want, I'll give you my card and you can call me later and I can give you counseling about that, because you need to know what you are using and how to use it and what's the right portion to use, right? As for the forgiveness, when both survivor and victim are alive and the victim or survivor wants to engage in reconciliation and forgiveness, that's a very valuable opportunity, because a lot of times we work with survivors, we can't find the perpetrators. They don't come around, they lie, they escape, they die, whatever happens to them, they're not engaging, they don't want to engage. But if this person is engaging, I think it's important that we need to look at, we see that 90%, 88% actually, close to 90% of rapists have been child victim of some kind of molestation or rape. So he has to heal his trauma so he can really even forgive himself, because I don't know if he even knows about his trauma, because a lot of children, see, that's where the difference is about forgetting. Children, when they don't have their cognitive ability or language, they may not recall it. But what I do is EMDR. I do EMDR, and it brings out the childhood trauma so you can fix it. You can look at it. You know what it is. You're not hiding all your life behind this shadow that you don't even know what it is. You know how many people, clients have come to me and say, I feel this thing I have with my dad, but I don't know what it is, and I don't want to assume it's sexual or something. So when we did the EMDR, we found out what it was. So it's a wonderful method, EMDR. So those of you, as Rambabu mentioned, the next workshop, all-day workshop we have is on Saturday, November 17th. For those of you interested, Lorraine is going to send you the flyer around so you can take a picture of it. We're trying not to duplicate too many to save the trees, so now you can take pictures and have the information easily.
I just want to affirm your work. I think it's, I'm Becky and I'm from San Angelo, Texas, but I use forgiveness work as a business coach, and I find that women and men cannot break certain glass ceilings and move forward, and the very first thing I do is take them through a forgiveness process. They don't know that they're hiring me to do that, but it's the root cause to move them forward into their life and business. So my question is, how do you do this from a group perspective? I mean, can you use your 7 steps in a
Yes,
group setting?
that's what we do every week. We love to do it every week. Every month when we do the workshop, in the morning is didactic, the theory and research. In the afternoon, everyone shares and releases their trauma. And I wanted to say, for those interested, I have few copies, and it's special discount for you. It's $10. It's Amazon sells it for $14.95. But if you wish to buy for ICERM attendees, I am giving it for $10. Just wanted to know it has the in detail how to work the 7-step. It has case studies, it has the theoretical background, and many handouts in the back that would be useful.